Hey, everybody, I think we're back.
Ish.
Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about the delay, everybody.
We're as good as good can be.
There is some internet issues at my house.
Do you have Spectrum?
Yeah? Why?
Oh, okay. Just wondering. Podcast guy I listen to has a awesome, sarcastically awesome things to say about Spectrum.
I don't have any
I
problems.
just never knew
There's a lot
anybody
of
that actually had it.
construction going on with the houses and stuff, so we intermittently, as they're connecting and disconnecting. And we have road construction starting this week on this road, too.
Oh, yeah.
So
You do live in that neighborhood. Oh, that's going to be a bummer. So,
looking forward to it.
As I was saying, so we were able to, I was able to get out of the house for a day. Decided to compete in a barbecue contest to try to earn a spot back in the World Food Championships. Luckily this year it's not in Dallas. I don't have to travel 2,300 miles round trip. This year it's in Indianapolis. A friend of mine was able to come up and help me pull. He pulled the trailer for me since I still can't drive. We competed in chicken, ribs, and wild card, which is pretty much anything cook's choice. You can do whatever you want. My leg was okay. It was more of just standing awkwardly, just made my back tingle a little bit. But other than that, it was actually it was good to get out of the house, I can tell you that. I was freaking going nuts. We, out of 7 teams, we ended up second overall. We got second in chicken, third in wild card, which my wife made a awesome banana pudding. Borderline from scratch. I mean, she used pudding mix, but she added a lot of other interesting items, but it tasted fantastic. Chicken, we decided not to do comp chicken. We did wings, and the wings turned out great. And then we also ended up second place in People's Choice, which was they give us 100 wings. Well, they tell us they give us 100 wings, but they really gave us 300 wings because they gave me 250 one-pound boats, and I went through those plus 50 of my own. I love when they underestimate what they're going to give you. But again, just getting out of the house. Knee was a little sore by the time I got home, but iced it. And I got my first follow-up appointment this coming Wednesday. So we're going to, I'm highly anticipating that. Hopefully I get some, my brace gets unlocked a little bit so I can start doing stuff. And, yeah, so we finished second overall, got the golden ticket to go to Indianapolis to try our hand again at the World Food Championships in beginning of November. Very excited. And I think you had asked about my sales before we cut off. I had 0 sales last week, 0. But luckily I earned $1,100 with my second place win. So it was not a total loss in revenue.
Good. You made about as much as I did then.
I don't know if that's true.
Bottom line.
Maybe I should have put that I sold out because I gave out the wings they told me to. I didn't want to take the ribs home either, so I just started giving out ribs. They were a little cold, but they enjoyed them.
Good.
Yep, I did add up how much business I've given away in the 2 weeks I've been off so far. A friend of mine's doing a $5,000 catering job Wednesday. That's a big one. But luckily, we're still up for the year.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Are you up for the year?
Yep, sure am. Having a great year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm so happy for that.
Good. I'm happy that you're up.
Yep. I'm now up 4.9% instead of the 30% earlier.
Hey, up is up.
Last July was a $36,000 month. This July is a $8,700 month.
Yeah, you almost beat me last July.
That's why we do this. I think you're definitely doing a hell of a lot more than I am. If you're not, then you
I said last July. I only did 37 last July.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last July part. And you're well ahead of that this July.
Ahead. Still got a couple days to go. I'm fully expecting that we lose the stream altogether.
Well, that's good. You used to think July was your worst month ever.
It still is.
So I'm glad this July turned it around.
It'll still be our slowest month. Probably.
But speaking of trend lines, the trend line is up in this month versus this time last year.
Yes, it's going to be busier than last year, but so are all of our other months. So it will still be the slowest of the months.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what? It's still our slowest month. It doesn't change. The delay seems to be catching up, though. That's good.
Clear now. That's good.
Yeah, but I'm getting offline notifications for all the stuff in my house. So
I am fully expecting the stream to drop out,
or for it just to get better.
Well, your camera's better, and I can see your words are actually coming through my earpiece when you're talking.
I've always been able to hear myself in your headset for whatever reason, so it's pretty close now.
Well, good.
It's back to annoying.
Oh, no. If that was annoying, I hate to see what the last half hour was.
That's why I wasn't talking. Or I would have to try to guess what you're saying and then say what I wanted to say halfway through your sentence to try to get it to catch up. Mm-hmm. That's how I felt last week.
Why'd you feel like that last week?
I don't know. You telling me I'm not growing my business properly?
I don't believe that is not what I said.
Go back and listen to it.
I said you could do things a little bit differently and still grow.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I meant by it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that why you're salty today? Is because of that?
I'm not salty today. I'm not salty at all.
Dude.
Other than you're telling me I shouldn't be growing from a 1-star review, but whatever.
No, why do you keep putting words in my mouth? That is not what I said at all.
You just said you didn't see it as a growth opportunity.
I said the reason they gave you does not seem like a growth opportunity.
Why not?
We've already went through this. I'm not going to go through it again.
I don't know that we did.
So it's not a growth opportunity because you were closed when they showed up.
Yeah.
How can, again, the only reason that you said that I agreed with you that you could possibly grow is that you
But you
purposely...
you keep saying the word
let me
possibly.
finish.
You keep saying the word possibly.
Can I finish first?
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Is you said that you didn't look at your trend lines. You didn't look to see how busy you have been. So for some unknown reason, you decided to cook less than what you have in the past. That's an opportunity for growth, yes. But because you are closed, that's not an opportunity for growth. Sir, floor is yours.
Stop saying words like possibly.
Why?
I am growing. It's not a possibility for growth. I am growing from it.
And again, I don't know how you can. You were closed. That was it. You were closed.
For being ill prepared. Well, you keep leaving off the second part.
But that is your possibility for growth right there. Done.
No, that is my objective for growth.
That is your opportunity for growth.
That is my growth line. There's no opportunity. That's where it is. It's not a possibility of growth. That's where we're growing.
I just find it interesting that for some reason you decided not to cook as much as you have in the past for those events. So either A, those events have never been this good ever, and you came home with food every single time you went with one of those events, then how could you ever look at your trend line? Because it wouldn't exist.
Well, there's always a trend line if you've been somewhere before. There's always an average if you've been there before.
So every single time, did you sell out?
No.
Okay. Did you throw food away?
Not much.
So you just made the conscious decision not to cook as much?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I didn't look, and we didn't have a lunch, and we only did that event. It's my fault. I didn't do my job.
Where was the 1-star review? Google?
Sure.
I just want to see what the actual review was. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Sure, it's public information. See, while you will take pride in selling out 2 hours at an event or a festival early, it's embarrassing for me. Sure, we pride ourselves on selling out. Not like that. That is not something we strive for. That is not something we try to do. I could sell out 5 minutes after we open every day if I wanted to.
Well, I think you're taking it to the extreme level.
There's a difference between selling out and leaving money on the table.
I agree. Absolutely there is. But I believe one of the first things you always told me was cook as much food to where if you sell out, you're happy selling out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that means that day or those days, you cooked as much food as if you were happy. You cooked as much food to make you happy if you sold out. And now you're not happy.
Yep, you're right.
So was that line BS?
Everything's relative, though.
Exactly, everything's relative. I'm not going to cook a half a brisket and a half a butt and sell out in 15 minutes and be happy about it.
You're going to cook a half a butt?
Cook a money muscle. You never know. We'll do sliced pork for 4 sandwiches.
Probably really good.
Probably. But anyway. All right. So this review, we had out-of-town family to go to the winery. Looking forward to your food truck. Come to find out, no food by 6 p.m. Really bummed. We had to order pizza.
Mm-hmm.
That is just, in my opinion, that's not a reason for a review.
Okay. You are entitled to that opinion. I completely understand where she's coming from, and I don't have a problem with her review. There's a million reasons to be disappointed in a business. This is one of them.
You can edit your response to heat and not here. You're just typing. I hope you give us another shot and that your pizza was delicious. Yeah, and that's. I appreciate you taking the time to respond to her, because that's still a good response. Because you unfortunately, I mean, you did exactly what. Yeah, you prepare fresh food daily versus, reheating leftovers and stuff.
I'm not saying that we're not going to get blindsided every once in a while. This was not one of those cases. Yes, they were busier than normal, but we did not prepare at our average sales for the night. That's all I'm saying. I take full responsibility for this.
And there's your growth opportunity. That's it
what
right
I'm
there.
Fucking saying every time.
But that's it. That part is it. You can't grow because you're closed. You can grow because you're.
Why were we closed?
Because you ran out of food.
You keep focusing on just that we were closed.
What if you had cooked more food? Hold on, let me ask you this. What if you cooked the same amount of food and you sold out by the same time? You still going to be pissed?
Well, we wouldn't have, but clearly we wouldn't have.
It's a yes or no answer. Would you still be pissed if this happened? Okay, well then that's your that's your.
I don't see how you say that. Would you have if you would have cooked more food and sold out at the same time? Clearly, we wouldn't have.
You said you got blindsided by this place, and it hasn't really been that busy.
I said it really hasn't been that busy.
That's what you just said like 2 minutes ago.
No, it's not. I said we weren't.
Hasn't been that busy.
I said we get blindsided occasionally. Yes, this wasn't that case. We did not cook to the average sales of that place.
And I'm asking you, if you cooked the average sales to that place, and you still sold out.
That's not what you said.
And you
said
still,
if you would have cooked more food and sold out at the same time, would you still be pissed?
Yes, it's the same. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's not the same fucking question.
It is the same question.
No, it's not.
And you still and you still get a 1-star review for being closed.
At what time of night?
Same time.
Yes, if we're closing 2 hours early, then there's a problem. And I think a person has every right to be upset about it.
How is that a problem? I'm asking if you cooked more food. If you cooked your normal amount, not this time. You cooked your normal amount of food. You got blindsided. It's fucking busy as all get out. And you sell out at 6 o'clock in the evening.
I would still be disappointed with us, yes.
But you can't foresee that. How could you be disappointed?
Doesn't mean I can't be disappointed.
Okay.
I think there's a huge difference in selling out 10 minutes before you close and 2 hours before you close. And me being disappointed in what we could have done. Why can't I say, well, we should have cooked more food? I wish we would have cooked more food. Why can't I be disappointed with what we cooked?
Because you had a hell of a day and you couldn't have foreseen it. So
every time we sell out more than a half hour early, it's like, God, I wish we would have had one more pork butt.
But you can't foresee it. That's what I don't understand.
Okay.
I don't understand your response of you'd be disappointed in something you can't foresee.
You're never disappointed when you sell out an hour and a half into an event that's a 4-hour event or a 5-hour event. You're like, God, I wish we would have had more food.
If I got blindsided with the amount of people there, fuck no.
All right. I guess it's just different business models. Yes, Bernie, we're the only truck there every time. But again, we did not bring the same amount of food we normally would have brought. That's the bottom. Don't respond. That's the bottom line.
Yes.
That is where we're going to get better.
I'm
agreeing
with you.
Stop talking.
I'm agreeing with you on that. I'm just agreeing. I'm agreeing with you. That's fine. I agree with you. I'm agreeing. I'm saying, yes, you did. That is exactly correct.
First of all, I'm not looking for validation from you and you saying that what I do is correct. And you don't need to have the last word. Stop talking. Let's move on. I don't need you to tell me that what I did was correct or incorrect. We're here to share. I wasn't looking for validation. I don't need it. We do what's right for our business. I will feel how I feel about what we do for sales. Doesn't make it wrong or right. Just because somebody else wouldn't feel the same way. Everybody's entitled to their own feelings and frustrations. I'm allowed to be frustrated with the situation. I think if any truck owner had that happen twice in a matter of 3 days, it would be a little frustrating. And they would probably have to look inward and figure out why they're not projecting better. And that's all I'm saying. Yes, Skippy.
Oh, sorry. I just didn't want to interrupt. I didn't want to get, yelled at for it. I would like to know, based off of what you just said, how have you changed your projections? How have you changed your way you look at projections?
I look at them.
Oh.
Regardless.
Do you think you would have lasted? Just honestly, with the amount of people that were there, if you cooked the same amount, do you think you would have lasted?
The entire night?
Yeah.
No, but we would have gotten another hour out of it.
Okay.
And an hour early is a whole lot different than 2 hours early, especially when sales tend to drop after 7 o'clock there. Not drop off, but they drop.
Sure.
We had about a third less food than we normally would for the sales that we did. We did a third less sales than we normally would out there.
Okay. I'm just wondering.
I was just telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And sellouts are sellouts, and yes, we pride ourselves on sellouts. And whenever I see the conversations happen on Facebook, I stay as far away from them usually as I can, because it's different with barbecue trucks, especially barbecue trucks that cook fresh. But it doesn't mean we can't do better sometimes. And these were 2 of those days. I brag about our sellouts, and we've had 25 this year. I feel really good about 22 of them probably. The other ones feel, I'll say dirty, but for lack of a better word. So yeah, we cooked. Tuesday we cooked the amount of food that we talked on last Monday about what our projections were for the week, and I told you what we were projecting, and we hit that number every day except for Friday. But for the food that I cooked, we hit the number that I said we were going to hit. And that part of our business, I have dialed in pretty freaking tight. I know exactly what we're going to hit, pretty much. Within $100 or two, what our number is going to be if we were to sell all our food based on how our food sells. So we cooked enough food on Tuesday to do a 1,500 day, which was what we were projecting to do. It would have been a busier day. Yeah. And I'm only taking partial responsibility for that one. It was much busier than the first time we were there with the same weather, but yeah.
So I'm going to ask. So that Tuesday,
mm-hmm.
The
only part that stings about Tuesday is that it was so early with so many people in line. And it's one thing at a festival. It's another thing for just a roadside neighborhood for me. When those people are counting on whatever food truck's there for their dinner option, I take it personally. So
I get my only question was when you said that your growth was actually looking at your trends.
Mm-hmm.
If it was busy the second time and you cooked the same amount of food, you cooked the amount of food based off of the previous time you were there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess how could you? You're not angry with yourself. You're not disappointed with yourself.
On Tuesday, no.
It just people
Friday,
just came
yes.
out.
Yeah,
People
Tuesday,
just came
no.
out.
Friday, yes.
Okay.
Two different situations.
I can understand that. Now we're good.
Tuesday's more of a bummer.
Yeah, I can understand that. That makes sense.
We actually did more sales there Tuesday night than we did the previous time we were there. We just, it was just one of those things. And it was a bummer. But,
absolutely.
And we don't want it to affect, if that's the way that neighborhood normally is, because we've only been there twice, so we now have a different average. We didn't want it to affect things going forward, which is always my concern when we have a super early sellout. Because we finally got our people to stop coming, everybody coming at 4:00 when we open to try to get what they want. We've now finally got people to trust us to be there for the time that we're going to be there.
Okay.
For the most part, because over the last couple of years, we've really tried to limit sellouts within reason.
I mean, I get limiting sellouts. Yes, I absolutely understand that.
So that's all. It's part of it's a trust thing, and we don't want to. We've worked really hard to be open for 90% of the time that we're going to be open. So, and especially the winery, which is a new relationship, they had a lot of frustration from people.
Which you've been there how many times?
4. But the days that we're there, they are now starting to see an uptick in business.
Did they contact you and let you know, or is it you're still guessing
about them having an uptick in business?
Correct.
That was relayed to me in the response to an email I sent them on Friday.
Oh, okay. Which you've already cooked everything.
Yeah, well, frustrations were already pretty high Friday. The owner came out and talked to Chris because they were getting complaints inside that we were closed.
Oh.
And it sounds like they had been pretty busy probably most of the day for some reason on a Friday. So I think they were dealing with a lot of what's taking so long. Why isn't there more staff? Where's my drinks? Type of thing all day. I think just in general, it was a pretty high frustration day.
Because you were not on the truck, were you?
No.
Okay.
Which is fine. It's no big deal. I don't need to be.
I understand. Just getting the full lay of the land here.
Well, nothing would have changed. It doesn't matter if I'm on there or not.
Can I ask whether Chris handled the
100% professionally?
Okay, good.
He handled it the exact same way I would have, and perfect. He was as frustrated with us selling out as early as we did as everyone else, because he doesn't want to. I mean, we're people pleasers by nature.
Yeah.
So anytime we can't make people happy it hurts our feelings. But yeah, I had reached out to. I mean, he was frustrated visibly with Chris. Chris said. Maybe was a little firmer in tone than what he normally, because this guy's a very nice guy, very laid back usually. They're big fans of ours.
He probably got it from all sides that day.
Yeah. So I had reached out to him that night, and we've had good conversation, and I was also worried about damaging that relationship and them not trusting us to provide adequately. So all is good. He said it wouldn't matter to me if you guys sucked as much, if you guys were not a great food truck, and said, but people are now coming because you're here and expect to have dinner when they come here. So it's frustrating for everybody.
Absolutely.
And I get it. And that's, so when I see the review, it's like, yep, I get it. I get that evening, I relate it to people getting frustrated on a Black Friday sales back in the days. It's just, there's a lot going on, and it sucked for people. And if you want to let us know that it sucked and rate us accordingly, then that's fine. I know that if I drove an hour to go someplace with family to try out someplace or to take some people someplace and they weren't open their scheduled hours, I'd be a little ticked off without advance warning, but again, we can only do so much, and I understand that. But I'm just saying I have empathy and I understand the reason for the review. And in the end of the day, someone reading it it's not going to make us lose sales.
No, it'll just have people call you to make sure you're open.
And that's fine. We field those phone calls and text messages all the time. Are you guys still open?
So
yep, sure.
In these instances, would you believe, or would you, we've talked about minimums in the past and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you would have cooked more, and let's say it wasn't as busy, and you end up going
Shit
home.
Happens.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Everything balances, in my opinion. Our waste is built into our prices, and everything's an acceptable loss. We never rarely cook more than what we feel comfortable throwing away. And I mean, unless it's a zero-sum day kind of thing where we have 5 customers for an 8-hour day.
Yeah.
And that's a quick lesson learned. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we would have cooked more. We would have been open a little bit longer. Would we have made it the whole night? I'm going to guess not, based on what I heard about the crowds.
I wonder what time she got there.
Right after we closed. Which I think probably stings more.
Why couldn't you come just a couple hours or a couple minutes earlier?
Yeah. And granted, our 4 to 5 o'clock was busier than normal there. Chris said the parking lot was full when they pulled in. They had a hard time parking because it was so busy there. So yeah, I mean, that contributes. You move that an hour later and you put in a normal 4 to 5 hour. Yeah, then maybe we're all singing a different tune, and we're just bummed because we were missing out on a couple $100 in sales. But yeah, Justin said they sold out Thursday too, about 20 minutes before closing time, and I think that's perfect. If I were to pick a sold out type of thing, it's 15 minutes before we close. Where you're serving 95% of potential customers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're turning down potentially half of your customers, and that's like I asked Chris, I said, so what do you think we could have done? So we did about $1,000 or just over 1,000. It was like 1,011. I said 15. He said absolutely. I said 2,000. He said maybe. And yeah, we haven't been out there for a July day or an August day yet. So, but from what we're hearing, that's pretty normal crowd out there for July and August. It really ramps up those 2 months. So we will likely overcook for the next time we're there in July or August and see what happens. The only way we can get good averages is if we overcook a few times. So I'm comfortable throwing away a pan of brisket and a pan of pork to get good numbers. And we've done that for 5 years at a lot of our locations. We've guessed wrong a lot, and now we have really good averages for a lot of our subdivisions that hold true pretty well. And our roadside stuff, that our lunch spots, we have a pretty good idea of what that range in sales is every week. Are we surprised sometimes? Yep, sure are. But the average is the average. So we cook for averages at sites and hope for the best. But
that's good. Okay.
We're far better at it than we used to be. But yeah, twice in 1 week it hurts.
Yeah, I understand.
On a week that we're trying to squeeze out a $45,000 month, which isn't a super busy month, but for July, that'd be a good July. I think we can still hit it. We got a couple of good spots this week. So for Tuesday, Wednesday, it looks like the weather's going to cooperate for the most part this week. So yeah,
that's good. I completely understand now. Yeah, I do. Good.
How's your job posting going?
I had no sales. How's my job posting going?
Yeah. Are you working on it? Are you working on crafting that wording and figuring out how to best sell your position that you want?